to Invest Brand Radio Show, where we bring you random topics within the field of entrepreneurship every week. So tap in. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, man? Thank y'all for listening to the first official Invest Brand Radio Show. This is episode number 1. This is show is going to be geared towards more of just talking about random things that's going on within the field of entrepreneurship or what have you, bringing you random topics and what have you, and just giving a little advice at the same time and give you a rundown on other things that come to mind. So thank y'all for joining me for this first official show. So what I'm gonna do is go to our YouTube channel, Invest Brand YouTube channel, and subscribe to the channel, because this is where you're going to be able to catch the shows every week. I want to say around Wednesday when a new show going to drop, as far as our radio show. And we also got the Invest Brand pod show that drops every Monday. So definitely that's why it's important for you to subscribe to the channel so you can be notified when both shows drop. And also hit the notification bell and make sure you like. It's very, very important. So like I said, man, this is the first show. So Happy New Year to everybody that's listening. This is going to be a real good show. So, like I said, man, everything gets better in time. So this is the first show. We just going to work through it. So the topics that we're going to talk about today on the radio show. Today we're going to be talking about how often should you email people on your list, your subscribers, people on your email list, might as well say. Then we're going to talk about a little bit about mock-ups that people use, you know what I'm saying? Then we're just going to be talking about 2023 plan, as far as your planning of your brand, your business, and we're just going to dive in a little bit of Invest Brand, planning what we have in store for 2023. So, man, thank y'all for joining with me. But if y'all are listening to this playback, like I said, make sure you go to Invest Brand YouTube channel, subscribe, and also make your way over to investbrand.com and join our journey, man. Join Invest Brand journey, man. Become one of our investors of self, man, because it's very important, because the journey of Invest Brand was created for y'all, man, so y'all can be able to follow the brand, be part of our journey. Is very, very important, man, because community without community, it won't be no brand. So that's very, very, very important. But before we jump into these topics that we're going to be going in on for this first show, I'm going to take a quick commercial break, and I'll be back after these messages, and we're going to get right into it. Yep. Brand. Well, Invest Brand was built on the concept of helping entrepreneurs and people out pursuing goals, especially seeing the effects of the pandemic, seeing so many entrepreneurs that have grown since then. We understand the life of an entrepreneur. We know how entrepreneurship can be. Sometimes, it can be hard and what have you. So we understand that motivation plays a key factor of getting up every day, being hungry, and going after your goals, and getting your business going, whatever that may be, right? So Invest Brand, that's what we stand for, investing in yourself, because we understand everybody is their own brand. And that's what we are investing in, motivating you through inspirational messages that we provide on our streetwear. And that's what it is. Invest Brand, stay driven, create opportunities. More than the brand, it's investment, because we understand that even though you are your asset, you are the biggest investment, but at the same time, it's more than the brand, it's an investment. And that's what we stand for. We are investing in ourselves, so we are our biggest investment ever. And that's what it is, Invest Brand. Tapping back in with me on this first official Invest Brand radio show for today. Like I said, man, we're gonna jump into the topics for today. For the first topic we're gonna be diving in talking about is how often should you email your list of people, you know what I'm saying, your email, your subscribers to your brand or what have you, because it's very important, man, because you got to understand, this is the way for you to be able to tap into people that support your brand, subscribe to your brand, to understand what people like and what have you, or keep people abreast of what's going on within your brand, because people subscribe to your brand because they want to follow. They are very intrigued by what your brand have to offer. So it's a good way to also see what's working within your brand, what emailing campaigns work, what ads work, what content work. You know, it's a good way to see what you need to spend more time on, you know what I'm saying, that's working and what have you. So it's very important to keep a track. And also it's very important because within this, say for instance, if you have like 300 subscribers, you want to make sure you don't mix the recurring customers within that list, because you want to make sure you have a list of recurring customers, a category within your emailing list of people who like certain content and what have you. So that's why it's so important for you, say, like I said, if you had 300 subscribers, to break them down into groups and what have you, a preference that they like, right? Because out of 300 people, everybody's not going to have the same preference, right? So you can't treat it as such. You got to break it down as individuals, because one person might like certain type of content that you put out, whereas somebody else within your 300 subscriber list, your email list, they might like another type of content that you put out, right? Or you might have a couple people within your 300 of your subscribers, they might only want 1 or 2 emails from you a week or a month and what have you. So everybody have their own preference of going by how they want to follow you, follow your brand and what have you, right? So the article that I read, it was on let me go to it. It's a little paragraph from campaignmonitor.com, right? Basically what they were saying is, because you got to understand, this has been something going on for years, where they try to do studies on it to see what is the proper way by going by emailing your list and what have you. Because you got to understand, one of the articles that I read, I forgot where I read it at, they said 73% of people unsubscribe to brands because of too frequently emailing. Too much, right? Because you got to understand, that's why it goes back to what I was saying. You want to make sure you break down your subscribers in categories of their preference or what have you, because you do not want to constantly email somebody that's within your list that doesn't want a certain part of content that you have, or they don't want you to email them every week. They might only want you to email them once or twice a month and what have you, right? But that's why it's so important for you to know what people that subscribe to you, what they want, you know what I'm saying? So what this article was suggesting is sending emails 2 to 3 times per week seems to be the peak stat and what have you, right? And that's the thing about it. I guess it's all up to what brand, to the individual who owns the brand, how many times they want to email their list a week or what have you. But they were just saying this is what they have ran across the studies that they have, the information that sending emails 2 to 3 times per week seems to be the peak for most people and what have you. But me personally, as far as my brand, me emailing people within my list and what have you, I send them 2 emails a week, and it's on the same day, around the same time, right? Because, you know, I'm a brand that's dedicated to helping motivate entrepreneurs, helping people pursue goals, or helping people to want to become a better person in life, what have you, a better them, right? Be able to reach that next level, you know, or, you know what I'm saying, trying to create something, opportunities for themselves or what have you. So every Monday I send out quote, an email to my subscribers that's a quote, a different quote every Monday to start their week off, because you never know what people may be going through. Some people might be looking forward to that because, of the quote, and the message within the quote might help them throughout the week, because it might, resonate with them throughout the week. And if they're having a bad moment, they think back to the quote and what have you, and it helps keep them, refocus them to help them keep going, moving forward, and what have you. And also, send out another email, letting them know that it's a new episode for the pod show and what have you, that's available for them to listen to right now. And sometimes I might, send out email of new product that's on the way, what have you, just to keep them abreast of new things that's going to come within the NVest brand and what have you. So that's how I do me. See, that's how I do my emailing lists and what have you. Everybody have their own preference, right? Everybody do their own email. They subscribers, they email them in their own specific way and what have you. How many times? I guess it's all up to the individual, of that brand, how many times they want to email their brand, their subscribers within a brand, what have you. But that's why it's so important for you to understand each and every one of your subscribers, because you don't want, like I say, you don't want anybody to unsubscribe from your brand, right? Because the goal is to keep people subscribe to your brand, because these are the people that's within your community. These are the people that's going to help you with ideas, going to let you know what they want to see from your brand. They're going to give you honest feedback and what have you. And you also don't want to potentially lose a reoccurring customer because they feel like they are being bombarded with emails, what have you, So you definitely want to be mindful of that. 300 subscribers is a lot. Just imagine if you had 2,000 subscribers, right? So you definitely have to pinpoint it down to each and every one preference. That's why it's important for you to set up a portal, set up a center, set up something that anytime somebody subscribe to your brand, right, they can go somewhere and they can put in a preference of how they want to be emailed. Far as a subscriber to your brand. Everybody have preference. Like I said, out of everybody's on your emailing list, everybody preference is not going to be the same. So you do not want to make somebody feel unwelcome within your brand. They don't want to feel like you always trying to sell them something, especially when, you got people that have alerts. They don't want to continue every time they look down, they get an alert, they look at the email, it's your brand emailing them. Some people become aggravated, annoyed by it. And if people begin to becoming annoyed by every time they look up, they get an alert from your brand and what have you, the next thing that's going to happen is they're going to unsubscribe from you, right? Because or unsubscribe from you and what have you. Or I don't know if the email got any type of settings where they can ignore or hit snooze on your email notifications or what have you. So you don't want that to happen, right? You want to keep people interested, but you want to make sure you don't run people away, because you are constantly sending out emails, and some people really don't like that. So it's very, very important that you understand that. And another thing they said within this article, you can find this article, I'm gonna put this in the description, in campaignmonitor.com. You can read it and what have you. It also said, like I was saying right here within the article, let your subscribers decide. So basically what they were saying is, as you gain subscribers, one thing you've probably noticed is how they all seem to have their own preferences, right? These preferences also include how often they receive emails. If you aren't sure what each subscriber would want, let them decide by setting up a preference center, which is very smart. Because like I said, you don't want to treat everybody the same. You don't want to treat everybody like a hat that's fits all, fit all sizes or what have you. No, everybody have their own individual thinking, ideas, mindset, and what have you. So everybody have their own individual preferences. So you want to make sure that you getting each and everybody individual preferences, and you are keeping track of it. Like I said, because it's very important not to treat your subscribers, all your subscribers, the same, because each and every subscriber is not the same at all. So you definitely want to get that information on how many times they would like to be emailed. You know what I'm saying? A week, a month, and what have you. If they want to be emailed every day or what have you, just get their preference. Even though you're not going to email them every day, but you know that they wouldn't mind that you send emails out to them every day or what have you. Or you don't want to send somebody an email 2 or 3 times a week, right? And they only prefer you to send them email 1 or 2 emails a month, right? So what's going to happen is they're going to end up subscribing from your brand, or they're going to end up putting your emails on snooze or what have you, whatever preferences, settings emails have for you to be able to ignore them or what have you. So you don't want to get put in that category, what have you. So you want to be definitely mindful to make sure if you are a brand right now, right, and you haven't done it yet, you haven't got your subscribers' preferences on how they would like to be emailed, that's probably something for you to do right now. You know what I'm saying? Something you do throughout the week, send everybody email, letting them know, what I'm saying, send back email of their preference on how they would like to be emailed, what have you, and you can keep a track of it. So you have something right there in front of you. You know how to treat every one of your subscribers as individuals, and how they will feel comfortable, how to make them feel comfortable within being part of your brand and what have you. So it's very, very important, guys. But don't get me wrong, email is very important. Emailing your subscribers on your list is very important, because that's what's going to help your brand. That's going to help you gather intel. You know what I'm saying? Especially what's working far as your content, what's working far as your emails, what have you. So it's very important that you do email to keep people abreast of what's going on and what's happening now within your brand. So it's very important that you take the steps to do that, right? All right, guys. Second thing we're going to dive into, second topic we're going to dive into right now, we're going to be talking about is mock-ups, guys. Mock-ups. And this is one thing, when it comes to mock-ups, you have a lot of people that do use mock-ups, right, for their sites. So, majority of the time when people use mock-ups, they want to have a professional looking site where when people come to their site, their product is looking professional, what have you, right? But sometimes you have people that have mock-ups that's not really detailed, right? They might have mock-ups with the hoodie strings, the design sitting on top of the hoodie strings and what have you, or it's the design that they have on a mock-up is not looking real at all, what have you. But my thing is, my thing when it comes to my opinion about mock-ups is, yes, it's good to use, but sometimes, my thing is all about being authentic, saying the authenticity of things, right? That's what's important to me. And sometimes, when you go to sites and you want to buy from this person because you see on a social media site, the ad popped up, so you very intrigued by the product that they selling. So when you go to their site, you see mock-ups, right? You're not actually seeing anybody that's wearing it, because when you send the actual person within the site, a model, what have you, wearing the actual product, you get a good visual of how it might look on you and what have you. You know what I'm saying? No matter what type of size you are, because it still gives you that idea, the visual idea of how it could look on you or what have you, right? And people, what's going on to all my entrepreneurs out there, my 9-to-5 workers with side businesses, or people just want to bet on themselves? What better way than go to Invest Brand? This is what we're here for, man. We are investing, motivating you. That's our main mission, man. Helping you find your why in life. Because when you think about it, a lot of people in this world today don't know their why, don't know what it is, don't know what their purpose is. And this is what Invest Brand was created for, man, to help you get on your path, get on your journey to understanding and knowing your why. So why not come to Invest Brand? Because Invest Brand, we are here daily to motivate you to keep you going through your journey. This is what we invest in. We invest in giving back to the people, helping you stay motivated. Invest Brand was created for you. So go to investbrand.com, subscribe to the journey, because the journey is created for you to be part of, for you to join. Why not come to Invest Brand? Investbrand.com. Go there. Get your motivational streetwear so you can stay motivated every day. So when you forget what you're on this mission for, or you forget your purpose, all you gotta do is look down to the shirt and then give you that reminder of why you are doing it for. Remember, investbrand.com. People like the authentic of seeing things like that, right? And that's what I'm all about. You know, I haven't really used a lot of mock-ups at all within my site. You know, what I did was the shirts, before I had got shirts made, and to replace them on my site, what I did was order my shirts, right? I had my hem tags sold on them. So I used to make my own mock-up. So all I had to do was go and put my design on there on the shirt, right? But even though design on the shirt wasn't actually made into the shirt and what have you, it was like a mock-up, but the shirt was real. You know, the hem tag on it was real, you know. So even though the design on it wasn't real, but people still could see the real physical shirt, the hem tags and what have you on it, but they still would get a visual sense of, okay, this is how the shirt really looks versus a mock-up and what have you, right? This is, you know, showing them different angles of the shirt, you know, showing them a up close and personal look of the shirt, so they really give identity of the actual color versus a mock-up and what have you. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with using mock-ups, but sometimes people use too many mock-ups, and sometimes mock-ups is not that great and what have you, right? It's a rush job just to put something on your website and what have you. But you got to understand, when it comes to the psychology of the buyer's mindset, when they want to buy something, they like to see the authenticity of whatever they trying to buy. They want to see the real thing, right? You know, mock-ups can be cool, but they seen a product online, an ad that intrigued them enough for them to come and hit the shop now button to be directed to your site, and they get there and you have mock-ups, so they can deter somebody from actually spending money with you and what have you. So you don't want to end up like that, right? And like I said, it's nothing wrong with using mock-ups. Sometimes you might not have the money right now or the money to get the actual physical shirt made, right? You know, you might not have the money to get any type of inventory, so you have to use mock-ups to help, I guess, you know, give people that visual sense of what the shirt is going to look like, even though it's not a real shirt, it's a mock-up, right? But I guess in somewhat on a subconscious level, a person still can get some type of visual sense of what your product gonna look. But you got to understand too, because what it look like on a mock-up might not turn out to look like once it get printed up, depending on what method you're trying to use. You're trying to get your product screen printed, you're trying to get it heat pressed, digitized or what have you, whatever way or route you going to do to get your product made. You got to understand the way the mock-up look might not turn out to be the same as once you get the real physical thing made. So sometimes that might end up hurting you because somebody might see it one way on your site, and when they get the actual physical product, it's different, right? It might be a slighter brighter than what it was on the site, the shirt, or the shirt might be just a little bit darker than what it was on the site, because colors can change. It could be anything. The design might be a little bit smaller or bigger than what it was on the mock-up. So you got to be very careful when you dealing with mock-ups, right? So you want to make sure everything matches when you do get to that point where you get your first physical product made. My suggestion is, if you're going to do that, is once you save up enough money, you get some revenue where you can get your product made and what have you, when you order your shirt, make sure you order at least 2 or 3 extra shirts to where you can use as you taking your pictures for your content, what have you. One you can wear out and what have you. Make sure you take pictures of the real thing and replace them with the mock-up on your site. Once you get the real thing right, you want to make sure you do that. Because like I said, people like, I guess it's up to the individual buyer too. You got some buyers that come to your site really don't care if it's a mock-up or not. They just like the design. They just like the idea of what you have to offer and what have you. And some people really don't care, because you look at Etsy. Etsy have a lot of mock-ups, and a lot of people use the same mock-ups for the Etsy store and what have you, and people still go and buy left and right from sellers that have Etsy stores and what have you. So I'm not saying that mock-ups won't work and what have you. I just make sure that your mock-ups are very detailed. Make sure your mock-ups are looking up to par, right? You don't want to have, like I say, you don't want to have mock-ups your string that your design is sitting on top of your hoodie strings, or your design is crooked on your shirt, on your mock-up shirt and what have you. So you want to make sure you have a very detailed, a very great mock-up to present within your website, right? So it's very important to do that, right? If you want to go that route. Like I said, a lot of people don't have the revenue to get anything printed up. But I say is, right, find somebody around your city, around your state, what have you, a shop that will work with you to be able to ask them, like, hey, can you heat press or can you digitize a couple samples for me? I'm a small business. I really don't have the capital for no big purchases, because most companies do have requirements, minimums, right? I think some people, when it comes to these shops, when it comes to heat press, I don't think a lot of them shops do have minimums. Some might have, but I know a couple here where the state I stay in, I know a couple of them don't have minimums when it comes to heat press. I know screen print, a lot of them, everybody have a minimum when it comes to screen print, even if it's 12 shirts, 20 shirts, or what have you. I know for sure most shops do have minimum, because it's the preparation for screen print. It takes a lot more than digitizing, than heat pressing and what have you. So ask somebody, go call around to your shops, or you can go up there to your shops within your city, see who will work with you, so you can get some samples made up. Like I said, one that you can wear, one that you can use for your content, take pictures in. You can take pictures for your site to post it up, to replace the mock-ups that you may have, or if you don't have nothing, or you don't have your site up, at least you will have something to put out there on your site and what have you. So that's why it's so important, man, to make sure, like I said, man, it's nothing wrong with using mock-ups, but make sure your mock-ups is up to par. You know what I'm saying? Don't make sure your mock-ups ain't just raggedy. You know, don't make sure your mock-ups is not something that's looking it's not up to par at all. Like I said, people come to your site and they looking at this, right? And they like, oh no, I was ready to spend money until I seen a hoodie, a design sitting on top of the hoodie strings or what have you. Nah, this no, that can throw off somebody visual. That's the first thing they seen. Now they like, oh, nah, I don't like this at all. Even though on a subconscious level they know this is not an authentic shirt that you have on your site, it's a mock-up. But again, on a subconscious level, they like, you know what, I like this enough to buy it, even though I know this is a mock-up. But like I said, there's nothing wrong with using mock-ups, guys. Like I said, I haven't really used too many mock-ups because I like the authenticity of things, right? And I say I put it like this, man. If it's good to use mock-ups, right? When you have new ideas and you want to test it out and throw it out there for the people within your community, or you want to throw it out there, email people within your emailing list of the new idea that you have, it's good to use mock-ups. You can use mock-ups for that, to throw them in something to visualize, or show them an idea that you're working with. You can say, this is just a mock-up. This is not the final look of it. This is just a sample of idea that we might be bringing out, you know what I'm saying? So it's a good way, you can use mock-ups in that way to, give your people within your community, people within your emailing list, something to visualize, something to see, of an idea that you've been working on, and see and test it and see how people is feeling about it, see if people feeling it and what have you. That's a good way to use mock-ups and what have you. So I don't want y'all to be like, oh, he said mock-ups was bad and this and that, and then when y'all see me use a mock-up and y'all be like, I thought you said mock-ups was bad. You should never use mock-ups. No, I'm not saying that, guys, at all. Mock-ups is good to use, but make sure your mock-ups is up to par, And it's another, like I said, it's another good way to just throw it out there and show everybody an idea that you're working on, just to test it, to see how it does and what have you. So the last topic we're gonna swing on into, just a little bit about 2023 plan. For my brand owners and what have you, what plans do you have? Have you started your list of plans that you are seeking to accomplish or work on this year and what have you? Have you went back and thought about everything that you wanted to do in 2022 you didn't get accomplished, that you are planning on knocking it out this year and what have you, or the do's or don'ts of 2022, the wrong, the rights and what have you, things that you promised that you're not going to do, that you did not going to do in 2023 that you did in 2022. So because it's all about how you start. What's the saying? How you start is the way you're going to finish. So if you have to go back and just think about the things that you didn't capitalize on 2022 that you're going to make sure that you do this year, things that you did wrong in 2022 that you're going to make sure that you do right in 2023, because now you have a lesson, you learn what you did wrong, now you can execute and what have you. So it's a good way to doing that, you know what I'm saying, for all my brand owners, what have you, because it's things that in 2022 that I didn't take advantage of, that I didn't capitalize on, that I'm gonna make sure that I do this year. Last year I just fully became, I wouldn't say with 6 months within the year, I became a full-time entrepreneur, right? So now I had a chance to really put my brand together like I want, get things going, put things in place, test little things here and there, see what doesn't work, and what have you, so I can be ready for 2023, because this is going to be a big year. You got to speak it into existence, guys. This is going to be a big year for Invest Brand. That's why I say, man, go to investbrand.com right now. Subscribe to our journey, because this is going to be a journey. This journey was created for you, so y'all can follow us. Y'all can be part of this, because this is a thing that we're going to take to the next level, right? In 2023, you got to speak in existence. You gotta be. This is something, like I said, the way you start is the way you're going to finish. So you gotta make sure that you are 10 toes down and you ready to go, right? No procrastination in 2023, right? Procrastination only leads you to not being in motion, and you not being in motion gonna lead you to giving up, right? And giving up is what? You failing. So we're not gonna do that, guys, in 2023 for all my brand owners. I know sometimes it can be rough, sometimes it can be hard, sometimes you're not seeing the results that you want to see, but I promise you, your results is right there around the corner. Just continue to grind, continue to hustle, continue to do what you got to do, man, because it's very, very important. But other than that, guys, thank y'all for tapping in with me on this first official Invest Brand Radio show. So like I said, man, if you are listening to this playback on our YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and also hit the like button, and make sure you make your way over to investbrand.com, join the journey, and make sure you get your motivational hoodie, Invest Brand, and what have you. So it's very important, guys, to make sure this is what we're gonna do, man. New episode every week on Wednesday, and make sure you catch the playback of the Invest Brand Pod Show every Monday. You also can check it out on Spotify. Make sure you go over to Spotify too and check out the Invest Brand Pod Show and hit the follow button so you can be notified when a new episode drop. But other than that, guys, man, thank y'all for the support, thank y'all for the love, thank y'all for everything. Happy New Year. We're gonna grind it out 2023, guys, man. Tap in. Yup.